serendipity. That's what this is about. I had a conversation about I mentor. Let me give you background on that. So I mentor based on my history. I lived in Hong Kong for like a year, right? And I come back home and I needed to find somewhere to be for all that energy. So I had a small fighting background. So I just came back into a gym that actually was annexed to a church, right? And that's on the east side. Over there, this young boy comes in, I think about 17 years old at the time, and troubled, and he needed help. You know what I mean? So through that, this is all kickboxing. So like through that, he's like, man, I want to learn how to fight. And the first thing I asked him was like, why? Right. Because it's important. That's right. But I also think that in fighting, you will answer a question. The way I was taught and raised, it wasn't under conventional sports anyway. It was under isolated, unique individual sports. It's going to be fighting, it's going to be wrestling, track and field, which is still a very individual thing. Even if you run in relay, your efforts are what's going to help that 1 to 200 meter or that 400 meter. Mm-hmm. So I understood that. I answered those questions, and I think because I completed those circles, I was enabled to help somebody else understand their own journey. Right. But every coach ain't an athlete, and every athlete ain't a coach. Right. I feel comfortable in saying that I'm thankful to be both. Right. So I had the conversation with him 2 nights ago. I didn't agree with anything he said. I was like, nah, I don't. No, I said. And matter of fact, when you brought that up the last time you said it, it was about a whole different subject matter and a different goal that you had. I said, so let's course correct this now because you can't put me in what you're talking about right now. I feel you. All right, bro. I got you, bro. But to stand on principle is not a problem. How to deliver your stance is usually where we have issues. So like I'm pretty black and white with mine, but I'm very respectful about what I don't agree with, And other than that, I'm pretty aqueous. Like, that's cool because it doesn't affect me. You know what I mean? That's not on my jacket. That's your jacket. I don't have mud on mine. But if you want, hey. But I told you, don't say I didn't tell you. That's generally how I am now. But, this is what happens after 40. Like you just tend not to care as much. In regard, you care, but,
you understand that it ain't that serious to be going to the extreme about whatever. Yeah.
To your point.
Yeah, you pick and choose when it's time to do it. And the times to really just go all out are so rare in life.
Yes.
But the problem is sometimes
move that back to you.
We do that.
Yeah.
We go all out when we're not supposed to.
Yeah.
And it's like, boom, now 25 years in prison, life in prison, something like that, dead, whatever it is.
Yeah.
When you get that, like Pastor Brandon, that discernment to say, oh, now you know what, that ain't worth me going to 1,000 on, and that's what a lot of young people that's why we got to be boots on the ground with them, to make them understand that.
That makes sense.
One little,
and it's over.
Little divot to the left or the right, you out of there. You know?
But I think it's so you're mainly, not mainly, but mostly in Fifth Ward.
Church wise, yeah, the church home is Mount Olive Church is in Fifth Ward, Market and Pinell Street. So yeah, mainly stationed in Fifth Ward, Texas right now.
And you're mainly still in South Park or Southeast Houston still?
Yeah, I'm on the South Side, but we go wherever.
Yeah.
Wherever we called, invited, or wherever the need needs to be served, we go. But we the earth is our turf.
Earth is my turf.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, the earth is my turf.
Without a doubt.
Without
a doubt.
The point of which we was talking about right before you stepped in, the thing that always echoes in my head, and I cannot remember where I heard it from. So if this is a part of a mantra, forgive me. I don't cite who said it, but is what's happening right now. Does it need me to be involved? That's question one. Do I have to say something, or does it even need to be said by me? These are the only things that I think about whenever something's happening. I'm like,
right.
I don't know if I got to do anything with that, so I'm outie, we just have to leave that be. That's somebody else's problem, or it used to not be that way. I think that was mostly testosterone and ego. It just used to just be like, oh, problem? Yeah, here we go. We just off to go see what we can do about that. That get a lot of people killed.
Yeah.
Pride gets you killed.
Yeah, it's picking your battles. And the crazy part about it is there's a time to make a determination to say, okay, you know what? This might get me killed. This might mean I had to kill somebody, but in this moment,
It might be worth
this
it.
is important
It's
enough
worth
and
it,
worth it
yeah.
to do it. But the other 99.8% of the things,
Yeah.
it's not that serious.
Right.
You know, so or they can be handled in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
You know, or the approach can be different. It may not solve it, but your approach can be like, you know what, I'm gonna move on it in this particular way. If it's not received, and I'm move around. You know, I'm gonna move around.
We're about to do something I didn't plan for.
What you got?
This is about to be a mentor conversation. This is about to be a whole mentor conversation. Because I was like, yeah, okay, great. Everything you saying right now, I know you say this to people. I know you do. Actually, I heard it on your YouTube page as well. Right. You know, what does it have to do with me? Man, I cannot remember the title. I'm not being disrespectful trying to remember.
Oh, no, I did so many, man. I don't even remember all of them.
It was one of them. It was about for an hour that you were talking, and it was like, I think the title of it was, what does this have to do with me? Which is pretty much where this resonates. Right. Does this have anything to do with me? No. I might entertain it. I might not. I wish you well. It had nothing to do with me not wanting to see you successful.
Right.
I just can't dump my time into that. I'm really into the economy of time. But now that we're on mentorship and guidance, what are some of the things that you say to the youth? You know, when you have those encounters, like scenarios where you have somebody in trouble, clearly going down the wrong pathway, right? How do you even approach them, right? Because I know for me, I was blessed by being approached. And I thank you, Johnny, if you're listening, I thank you, because I wouldn't have known how to come at him. You know what I'm saying? So seeing it, understanding it, and knowing exactly how to implement what you need to say. How do you manage that?
When approaching?
Yeah.
Well, first, you know, I definitely got to share my experience, life experience, not so much from a ministry point, but real life experience, depending on where I'm at, whether it be in 5th Ward, 3rd Ward, South Side, Southwest, wherever I'm at, coming across whomever. And when you share your life experience, let them know who you really are just as a person. That opens up the door, the eyes, the heart, the ears for that individual so they can relate. Because if they don't have anything to relate to, I'm not finna listen to you to whatever else, you know, coming out your mouth. But once that door gets open, when I share my life experience, you know, I clearly let them know. A lot of old heads in church, you know, don't like it when I say this, but I let them know. I say, Jesus ain't for everybody. You know, salvation not for everybody. And that makes a lot of them mad because, what you mean? Jesus is for everybody. What you mean? Nah, because everybody not for him. At the end of the day, not everybody want to be the example or change their mental or their lifestyle to walk that certain path. You know what I'm saying? It's a choice. And for people like us, we're not finna force you, you know, because we feel that, you know, you're your own person at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But if you do decide to stay on the other side, we're going to make sure you gate it off so you don't influence nobody else. All right. That's just how it's going to have to be. And that's where I see we failed over the years by allowing those who decided to stay on that other side to still come over and influence the generations to come and the seeds. So when they grow now, we got to go and clean them up and repeat the process.
Sure.
Sure. And I also to add to that, if I have a group of young people that's getting ready to play basketball and they want to play basketball, I'm not going to bring in a neurosurgeon to talk to them about basketball. It's two different fields. So as far as in the hood, people are going to gravitate towards somebody that looks like them, that's a reflection of them. And even if they have transitioned out of a certain lifestyle, they have that lifestyle on their resume to where they can at least speak on it with the people who are currently in that lifestyle and get that respect. Like, well, he been where I'm at right now. And that's the whole thing. And to come from an angle, from a non-judgmental angle, you know, one of the biggest mistakes we make with our young people, man, we stand over them and talk to them like we grew up perfect, like we grew up flawless. and we so judgmental of them, and that automatically gonna turn them off. They ain't trying. They're not trying to hear that. They seeing the hypocrisy in that.
Yeah.
So if you come at them non-judgmental, and even to, hey man, look, bro, I've done what you did and worse in certain situations. Brother Jesse Muhammad, he came on my radio show a long time ago, and he said something that stuck with me. He said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so it's like, we have to exhibit love to young brothers and sisters who have never even felt love to the degree to where they just hardened at 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. They hard as a rock because that's all they knew coming up. So underneath that hard exterior is a core of love. It's in there. That nature is in there.
Yeah.
But we got to figure out how to tap into it and get them on that path without beating them over the head with their activities. We're gonna pull you out of that.
Yeah.
You can't remain in that, but we gonna have patience with you.
Right, definitely.